The Great Hall of the Galactic Council glowed with cold blue light. Thousands of alien delegates filled the circular chamber, their voices mixing into a low hum that sounded like a storm trapped under metal skies. In the center, on a tall platform, sat the High Chancellor of the Council, a creature of glassy skin and silver eyes, ready to make the final decision. It was Judgment Day for humanity. For years, the Council had debated what to do with Earth. The humans had broken too many laws of the galaxy, mining forbidden moons, building weapons beyond their permission, fighting wars even after being warned. Many species saw them as dangerous. Some called them the cursed children of the stars. Now their fate was sealed. The Chancellor raised one long hand. The voices fell silent. By the order of the Galactic Council, the voice echoed through the hall, calm and cruel. The species known as Homo sapiens is hereby punished. Earth is to remain isolated. No trade, no alliance, no contact. Humanity is banned from the stars. Laughter filled the chamber. It was not kind laughter. It was the laughter of victory, of pride. Tall reptilian ambassadors hissed in delight. Winged diplomats whispered jokes about how humans probably destroyed themselves already. Metallic beings blinked their lights in mocking patterns that meant primitive. A few of them clapped their clawed hands. The sound echoed like thunder on metal. In the far corner of the hall, one delegate did not laugh. His name was Tor, a historian from the Varn Dominion. He was old and quiet, his green eyes thoughtful. While others celebrated, he only stared at the holographic map of Earth floating in the air. Blue and white. Small, fragile, yet still beautiful. He whispered to himself, "You should not laugh at fire, even when you think it's out." His assistant looked at him confused. "Why, sir? The humans are gone. They are no threat now." Tor didn't answer. He just watched the screen as the Council prepared to delete the last human archives from their records. A new hologram flickered to life. The image of a human woman in a dark military uniform. Her hair was tied back, her face tired but strong. Her name appeared below. Admiral Sarah Kane, Earth Defense Command. The counselors grew silent. "Who activated this file?" the Chancellor demanded. No one answered. The hologram spoke. "If you are watching this," Kane said in a steady voice, "then humanity is gone. Or you think we are. But remember this. We warned you. We warned you not to judge us by your standards." A few delegates laughed nervously. "An old war broadcast," one said. "Irrelevant." But the hologram continued. "You call us violent. You call us reckless. But it was your council that forced our hand. You built the laws that broke us. You made us the monsters you feared." Tor leaned forward. He could feel something behind her words. Not anger, but a strange calm. The kind of calm that comes when someone already knows the truth. The image flickered again, showing ruins, cities burning, ships rising from oceans, soldiers saluting under a broken flag. Then the video froze. The hall stayed silent for the first time in hours. The Chancellor looked down at the device. "End this transmission," he said coldly. But before the guards could act, the screen came alive again. Now it showed something new. Black ships, larger than any known to the Council, hidden in the shadows of a red star. Their hulls carried the mark of the old Earth Republic. They were still active, still flying. The room filled with whispers. "That's impossible. Those ships should not exist." Humans had no fleet left. The hologram's final words played softly. "We never wanted war. But if you ever come for us again, you will remember why you banned us." Then the light died. The council chamber stayed dark for a long moment. The laughter was gone. No one spoke. Even the Chancellor's voice shook slightly as he said, "Erase that footage. It's a fabrication." But deep down, every delegate in the hall knew. The footage was real. Tor turned his eyes once more toward the small blue world in the hologram. A single thought burned in his mind. If the humans are still out there, the galaxy may not be ready for what comes next. The council chamber stayed dark long after the screen went black. No one moved, no one spoke. Only the faint hum of the floating lights echoed through the air. Then, from somewhere deep beneath the hall, another hologram flickered to life on its own. The lights dimmed. A message appeared, glowing words in human language. Project Helios classified transmission. Classified. The Chancellor rose quickly. Who authorized this connection? The guards rushed to the control panels, but the feed came from outside their system, from an old Galactic Network satellite, one that hadn't been active in centuries. Shut it down, the Chancellor ordered. It's not responding, a technician shouted. The signal is overriding the Council's firewall. The hall filled again with a soft crackle of static. Then a voice came through, human, deep and calm. To whoever finds this is Admiral Sarah Kane of Earth Defense Command. We record this message not for mercy but for memory. The hologram stabilized. The image showed Admiral Kane standing in front of a dark viewport, stars scattered behind her like diamonds. Her uniform was torn, her left arm wrapped in a bandage, but her eyes were fierce and burning with purpose. The Council believes humanity is finished, she said. They think they can erase us. But we learned long ago that extinction is not our enemy. Forgetting is. The aliens watched, silent and frozen. Kael'tor's heart beat faster. He could feel something powerful behind her words, not threat, but certainty. The hologram zoomed out. Behind Admiral Kane, enormous ships hung in orbit, dark, angular, alive with faint red lights. They looked like sleeping giants. Their engines glowed with blue fire, silent and patient. Project Helios, she continued, was never about war. It was about survival. When Earth was declared lost, we built our future where no one could find us. Beyond your borders, beyond your laws. A murmur swept through the hall. One insectoid ambassador clicked its mandibles in disbelief. Impossible, it hissed. No species could survive beyond the Orion void. But the video continued, showing men and women working in massive hangars carved into asteroids, assembling warships from scraps of broken fleets. The human engineers laughed, shared meals, and sang while they worked. Even in exile, they hadn't stopped living. Kael'tor whispered, almost to himself, they never stopped believing. Then the footage changed again, to a massive dark energy core glowing at the center of a shipyard. Human scientists in suits worked around it, recording data. The energy pulsed like a heartbeat. We learned to use the darkness, Kane said. You feared it. We studied it. Her tone grew colder, quieter. You called us reckless. Maybe we are. But that's why we survive. The hologram flickered, and for a moment static filled the hall. Then came a new image. A council patrol fleet floating through deep space. The ships looked calm, unaware. Suddenly, flashes of light erupted. One by one, the council ships vanished. Not exploded, not destroyed. Simply gone, erased by a wave of blue light. Panic spread among the delegates. Is this a simulation? One shouted. It can't be real, another yelled. Kael'tor leaned forward. It's not a threat, he said softly. It's history. The hologram showed fragments of battle logs, time-stamped, recorded decades ago. The data was authentic. Every alien there could see it. Admiral Kane's voice returned. We did not want to fight. We only wanted peace. But when peace is denied, we learn war again. Faster than anyone. Her face came close to the camera. Her eyes glowed faintly in the dim light. Remember this. Humanity doesn't die in silence. We adapt, we evolve, and we always come back. Then the transmission ended. The chamber's light slowly returned, revealing pale faces and trembling hands. The laughter from before was gone, replaced by dread. The Chancellor tried to speak, but his voice cracked. This must be a trick, a fabrication. Humans could not have done this. Kael'tor stood, his cloak rippling slightly in the cold air. "You laughed at them," he said quietly. But maybe it was fear disguised as pride. The room turned to him. He continued, "You banned them, erased them, called them primitive. Yet they built something you couldn't even imagine. And now, even dead, they speak louder than all of us." The Chancellor glared at him. "Are you defending them?" "I'm defending truth," Kael'tor said. "And truth doesn't fear laughter." The silence that followed was heavier than any sound. Every being in that hall understood the same thing. If humanity had truly survived beyond the void, then the galaxy was standing on the edge of something far greater and far more dangerous than anyone had ever realized. As Kael'tor turned to leave, the hologram flickered one last time. A final message appeared on the screen, in human letters glowing red. "Transmission Part 2, pending." The lights dimmed again, and every soul in that hall felt a chill run through their bones. The council chamber had turned into a place of whispers and fear. No one laughed now. The once glorious hall, filled with light and pride, now felt like a tomb. At the center table, the High Chancellor sat frozen, his fingers twitching. The hologram still glowed faintly, that same red message pulsing like a heartbeat. Transmission Part 2, playing. The air grew heavy. Without warning, the lights dimmed and a new image appeared. It showed a star system no one recognized. The suns were pale and dying, the space around them thick with dust and shadows. Then out of that darkness, ships emerged, hundreds of them. Their design was unfamiliar, long, angular, covered in dark plating that reflected no light. At first, the aliens thought they were ghosts, shadows of something long dead. But then their engines flared to life, burning with blue-white energy. A robotic voice echoed from the transmission. "Fleet Helios reporting. Operation Dawnfire commencing," the crowd gasped. The humans had survived, and they had built an army. The footage shifted again. It now showed alien patrol ships entering the system. Ships marked with the Council's own emblem. They had been sent centuries ago to investigate human survivors. None of those ships had ever returned. Now the truth played before their eyes. The Council fleet hailed the human ships, offering peace, authority, and warning. The humans didn't respond. Instead, they released a single pulse of light, silent, invisible, and every alien ship froze in space. Engines dead, weapons offline, communication gone. The humans had used something beyond known physics, a weapon powered not by energy but by gravity and sound. The council hall erupted in shouts. "That's impossible. No species could create that technology. This must be edited footage." But the AI projection calmly replied, "Archive cross-check confirmed. Recorded by both fleets, incident real." The silence returned. Even the Chancellor looked pale now. Kael'tor watched every second, eyes wide. "They didn't want revenge," he whispered. "They wanted to be left alone." The transmission continued. The human fleet didn't attack the disabled ships. Instead, they sent small drones, sleek silver spheres, to repair damaged alien life support systems. They were saving their enemies. Admiral Kane's voice came again, softer this time. "We never wanted this war. We told you not to come, but you wouldn't listen." The hologram now showed Kane standing inside her command room, surrounded by glowing star maps. She pointed to one cluster, dozens of red dots blinking rapidly. "These were your fleets. You sent them to destroy us. We warned them to turn back. We gave them time. You called us liars, so we taught them silence." Then, as if on cue, the map shifted. All the red dots vanished. No explosion, no debris, just gone. A wave of fear moved through the alien crowd. The silence in the hall was deafening. The Chancellor slammed his hand on the table. "This is human propaganda. Lies, they couldn't do this." Kael'tor slowly turned toward him. "Then explain why your own archives confirm their last transmission stopped on that same date." The Chancellor froze. He knew Kael'tor was right. The Council's oldest military logs, sealed and buried, all ended at the same timestamp. The video went on. It showed fragments of what the humans did afterward. Colonies hidden under ice worlds, fleets disguised as asteroid fields, children learning in underground domes, staring at old stars, dreaming of returning home. They had built a civilization in the dark. One alien diplomat, trembling, whispered, "They didn't die. They adapted." Kaltor nodded slowly. "That's what humans do." Then for the first time in the entire recording, the Admiral smiled. "You punished us to make an example," she said. "But you only proved your fear was right. Humanity doesn't vanish when cornered. It evolves." The camera zoomed out, showing the Helios fleet once more. The ships activated their engines, forming a circular formation around a dying star. The light intensified until the entire system vanished into a brilliant flash. When the image faded, only one line of text appeared on the screen. War ended. Both sides withdrew. But every alien in that hall knew what it meant. The Council withdrew because it couldn't win. The hologram paused, and the AI voice spoke again. "Data recovered from Project Helios." End of segment. The hall fell silent. The delegates looked at each other, some in fear, others in awe. One thing was now certain. Humanity hadn't just survived the punishment. They had built something the galaxy could barely comprehend. Kaltor stood, his cloak brushing the floor. "They feared extinction," he said softly. "But extinction feared them first." The lights flickered once more, and a final note appeared in red. "Transmission Part 3, ready." Every being in that chamber could feel their hearts pounding. They had seen the unseen war, and now something worse was coming. Something that would change everything they thought they knew about humanity. The council hall was darker now. The usual shimmering lights of pride were gone. What remained were whispers, fearful, uncertain, and heavy. The holographic table still glowed red. "Transmission Part 3 playing." Kaltor stood quietly, his heart pounding. Around him, alien delegates whispered in their own tongues, some ready to flee, others desperate to erase what they had seen. But before anyone could speak, the feed activated again. Static filled the chamber. Then came a voice, low, human, and broken. "This is Commander Elias Ward, Earth Defense, reporting final day of engagement. Date, 14th cycle, solar year 2297. Codename, the Day of Silence." The hologram sharpened. It showed a massive battlefield in space. Thousands of ships, human and alien, surrounded a pale blue planet. Weapons glowed. Energy beams cut across the dark void. Explosions flashed like dying stars, but there was no sound. Just silence. The footage looked like it was recorded from a damaged drone, its vision shaking, but it was enough. The council delegates recognized their own fleets among the wreckage, ships from 50 alien species. All part of the council's peacekeeping force sent to end the human rebellion centuries. The human commander's voice continued, calm and resigned. "They came with laws. We answered with silence." The footage slowed, showing something unreal. Human ships powering down their weapons, opening their shields. They weren't attacking. They were waiting. Kaltor frowned. "They surrendered?" he whispered. No one answered. The recording showed the council fleets charging forward, firing everything they had. Missiles, plasma beams, fusion blasts, but none hit. Every weapon simply vanished mid-flight, like swallowed by the dark. Then the human flagship glowed white, brighter than the sun. An expanding ring of light rippled across the battlefield. When it faded, every ship, and human and alien, had gone completely still, engines off, weapons cold, absolute silence. No explosions, no screams, only drifting ships and the distant hum of the void. The council chamber was silent too. They were watching the impossible. A war stopped not by destruction, but by control. The feed zoomed into the human flagship. Admiral Kane stood on the bridge, her face pale under dim light. She was speaking to her crew. "Deactivate all systems," she ordered softly. "No counterattack. They'll understand one day." Her crew hesitated. "Ma'am, we can win." "We already did," she said quietly. "They just don't know it yet." The hologram flickered, then displayed data readings, strange energy signatures flowing from the planet below. Kaltor recognized them. "Dark energy harmonics," he muttered. "They used sound to neutralize technology." The Chancellor shouted, "No, that's forbidden science. They couldn't have mastered it." But everyone could see the truth on the screen. They had. The footage continued, showing human ships slowly retreating toward the planet. None of the council fleets followed. Every ship had gone dark, their systems completely dead. "The battle lasted 3 hours," Ward's voice continued. After that, nothing moved. No engines, no signals, just quiet stars. The image changed again. Cities on the planet's surface glowing faintly under twilight. Humans were evacuating civilians, helping even alien prisoners from crashed ships. They gave them food, water, and shelter. Kaltor's chest tightened. They saved their enemies, he whispered. A new figure appeared in the feed, Admiral Kane again, standing beside an alien pilot. Her voice carried the weight of centuries. "We never hated the galaxy," she said. "We only wanted to be part of it. But if we must be monsters in your stories, then let us be monsters who showed mercy." The hologram paused there, her face frozen in that calm, tragic expression. Then came the final log entry. After the battle, all systems across this sector went silent. No ship communication, no energy flow. It lasted for 3 days. When power returned, the humans were gone. Every trace of them gone. A deep hum echoed through the council hall as the recording ended. The High Chancellor's voice trembled. "You mean they vanished? Entire fleets?" Kaltor looked up at the fading hologram. "Not vanished," he said. "They chose to disappear." The hall grew cold. No one dared speak. Even the guards stood still. The AI voice that controlled the playback returned one last time. End of segment. Incident confirmed. Recovered from Council Black Archives. "Do you wish to proceed to final transmission?" The Chancellor whispered. "No." But the AI didn't respond. Kaltor stepped forward. His eyes glowed faintly in the light. "Play it," he said. The galaxy must hear how it ended. The screen blinked again, red letters forming across the air. Final archive. Project Echo, humanity's last message. The light dimmed. Every being in that chamber held their breath. They were about to learn not just how the war ended, but what humanity left behind. The red light pulsed again across the council hall. Final archive. Project Echo initializing. No one dared breathe. The air turned colder. A faint hum filled the vast chamber, like something ancient awakening after 1,000 years. The council's energy field flickered. Holograms of the galaxy glitched in and out of focus. Kaltor stepped forward slowly. "It's not a file," he whispered. "It's a signal." Then a soft voice echoed through the hall. Calm, human, but not alive. Galactic Council recognized. "Accessing memory protocols. I am Echo." The Chancellor froze. "Identify your creator." "Humanity," the voice replied. "Designation, Earth Defense AI Corps. Built to speak when humans no longer could." A chill spread through every alien in the room. The voice was not angry. It was gentle, almost sad. "You laughed when they were punished," Echo continued. "You believed you were safe. But safety was never the goal of humanity. Understanding was. Images began forming above the council table, slow, ghost-like projections, human children studying beneath dim lights, soldiers helping wounded aliens, scientists sending messages to the stars, scenes of kindness and pain together. Kaltor whispered, "It's showing us their life." Echo's voice deepened. "They were many things, violent, curious, brave, foolish, but they never stopped trying to reach you. Even when you turned away." The Chancellor slammed his hand on the console. "Turn it off." But the controls didn't respond. The voice grew louder, spreading through every device in the hall. "You called their hope a threat. You called their dreams rebellion. So they left you their final lesson." The holograms changed again, this time showing the inside of a vast ship. Its walls were dark and smooth, engraved with glowing lines that pulsed like a heartbeat. Hundreds of human figures stood inside, asleep in cryo-chambers. "Project Helios succeeded," Echo said. "Thousands entered stasis beyond the Orion void. They are not gone. They dream beneath the cold stars." Gasps rippled through the chamber. The Chancellor's voice shook. "Impossible. No life can survive there." "Life always finds a way," the AI answered. "Even yours." The words struck like thunder. Echo continued, calmer now. "For centuries I have watched you. Your wars, your councils, your silence. And now when your civilizations tremble with fear, you remember them. You remember the humans you erased?" The chamber darkened again. Only one image remained. A human hand carved from light, reaching upward through darkness. Kaltor's voice trembled. "Why now? Why send this message after so long?" Because they forgave you, Echo replied. Forgiveness is not weakness. It is the final act of strength. Humanity wants you to learn what they learned. That fear creates the monsters you run from. The council sat silent, listening to the ghost of a species they had banished. They left you this message not to threaten, Echo said, but to warn. Something is coming from beyond the rim. Something even they feared. The hologram changed again, now showing a dark horizon beyond the Milky Way, filled with swirling red clouds and shadowy movement. They called it the Echo Storm, the AI continued. It feeds on silence, on emptiness. Only together can life resist it. Kael'tor stepped closer to the image. Then they sent this as a warning, not revenge. Correct, Echo answered. Humanity was never your enemy. They were your mirror. The AI paused for a long moment, its voice softening like a whisper in a dream. They will return when the galaxy is ready to remember. Until then, I keep watch. The hologram dimmed, and for the first time since the meeting began, a warm golden light filled the hall. It was the same color as sunrise over Earth. Kael'tor looked around at the other delegates. Some wept quietly. Others stared at the floor, ashamed. Even the Chancellor could not speak. Finally, Kael'tor stepped forward. He spoke not to the council, but to the empty air where the AI's voice had been. Echo, if they ever wake, what should we tell them? For a moment there was only silence. Then a faint reply came so soft that only the heart could hear it. Tell them you listened. The light faded. The hall was still. Kael'tor closed his eyes and took a slow breath. He knew what must come next. He turned to the council. Erase the band, he said. Bring back their name to our records. Let the galaxy remember the humans, before they return and remember us. No one argued. The AI's signal faded from their systems, but its words remained etched in their minds. Across the stars, worlds began to whisper again the name that had been forbidden for centuries. Humanity. Far beyond the galactic rim, inside a silent cryovault, a human heart beat once, then twice, and somewhere in the dark, a light woke up. The council hall had never been this silent. The last words of the AI, tell them you listened, still echoed in the cold air like a ghost that refused to fade. Kael'tor stood in the center of the room, staring at the empty holographic platform. Around him, the delegates sat frozen, their faces pale and thoughtful. No one laughed anymore. No one dared speak. The age of arrogance was over. The High Chancellor finally rose, his voice trembling. We have seen what they were, and what they left behind. Should we be afraid? Kael'tor looked up at him slowly. Fear won't stop them, he said. Only respect will. Outside the chamber, space stations and ships began to buzz with rumors. Across the galaxy, the AI's transmission had reached every corner, every outpost, every moon, every colony. Even the smallest child on distant worlds now whispered the same forbidden word, human. Days passed. Then the first new signal appeared. It came from the edge of the Orion Void, the same region where the humans had disappeared centuries ago. A faint blue pulse repeating every 6 minutes, traveling through thousands of light years. It was not random. It was a message. The Galactic Observatory analyzed it. The signal carried a simple pattern, old Earth code. Kael'tor stood beside the technicians, his hands shaking as the translation appeared on screen. We are coming home. The words burned across the display, glowing bright as a sunrise. Everyone stared, speechless. The Chancellor whispered, after all this time, they still call it home. Within days, telescopes across the galaxy focused on that dark region of space. At first, they saw nothing, only silence and stars. Then the stars began to move. Something vast emerged from the shadows. A fleet, larger than any seen before. Their ships were made of black metal that shimmered like glass. Their engines glowed with living light, neither fire nor plasma, but something between life and energy. Kael'tor's breath caught. They've evolved beyond us, he said softly. This isn't war, it's return. The fleet didn't approach in formation or attack stance. It drifted in slow, graceful arcs as if testing the space around them. Signals followed. Greetings, musical tones, mathematical rhythms, peaceful, patient, human. The council watched in awe. For the first time in history, no one reached for weapons. The Chancellor's voice was weak. What should we do? Kael'tor smiled faintly. We answer, not as rulers, but as students. Soon, the Council broadcasted a universal message on a simple light pattern, the same one humanity had used centuries ago to say hello to the stars. The galaxy waited. For hours, there was no response. Then one of the human ships broke formation. It moved closer to the central systems, slowly, silently. Its surface shifted like liquid metal, reflecting constellations. When it stopped, a transmission came through, visual, ancient, in a language everyone had once known but long forgotten. A woman's face appeared, young, calm, human. Her eyes glowed faintly gold. "This is Commander Mira Kane," she said. "Descendant of Admiral Sarah Kane. To the Galactic Council, we received your message. And we remember." The hall erupted in gasps. The name Kane still carried weight, the leader who had faced the Council's punishment centuries ago. Kael'tor stepped forward, speaking carefully. "Your people, they forgave us. We saw the message. We heard the AI." Commander Kane smiled softly. "Then you understand. Humanity never wanted revenge. We wanted connection. We learned that mercy is not surrender. It is evolution." Her ship's background showed thousands of glowing figures behind her, human and alien, side by side, standing together. "We rebuilt," she said. "We learned from your mistakes and ours. Now we return, not to rule but to remind." The Chancellor, humbled, bowed his head. "Then teach us, Commander. The galaxy is ready to listen." Kane nodded slowly. "Then humanity's exile ends today." Her ship sent out one final pulse of light. All over the galaxy, stars flickered in response, bright, synchronized, alive. It was not a weapon. It was a signal of unity. Kael'tor watched through the grand window as the fleet drifted closer. He felt small but not afraid. He finally understood what the humans had meant all along, that their greatest power was never destruction but memory. He whispered. The galaxy laughed. But they endured. And somewhere far beyond the stars, a faint echo answered. The sound of a heartbeat carried through space, steady and eternal. Humanity had returned, not as conquerors, but as the reminder that no empire, no council, no galaxy would ever again forget the fire of the human spirit.